Day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. At least 240 Chinese vessels continue to occupy territorial waters at the West Philippine Sea. That's according to the latest round of sovereignty patrols conducted by the Philippine government last April 11. These Chinese militia vessels are now dispersed at the Pagkakaisa Banks and Pag-asa Islands. It is estimated that each ship can catch about 240,000 kilos of fish illegally taken from Philippine waters every single day. In a statement, the National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea is denouncing the continued presence of Chinese warships and other vessels in Palawan. The task force says this poses a threat to the safety of Filipinos who have exclusive rights to benefit from the marine wealth in the EEZ. That's why it's reiterating its demand upon China to withdraw all vessels that are inside Philippine waters. It added that China should take Philippine representation seriously and respect our sovereignty and rights to strengthen the two countries' bilateral relations. Aside from crushed dolomite, workers have been spotted placing rock formations along Baywalk as authorities proceed with its beautification project. To give us more updates on this, Shaila Francisco is joining us live from Manila. Shaila, could you tell us why these rock formations were added to the landscape?
Charles, for one, as part of the beautification project, they intend to make it a rock garden where tourists and passers-by can take pictures in the future. But more than being a beautification project, they say the DNR rather said that they set up the rock formations to avoid the dolomite from being washed out to the sea, especially when there are heavy rains and heavy discharge from establishments nearby. Charles?
Right. Could you tell us whether more funds were actually needed to add on these rock formations, Shaila?
Charles, the DNR clarified that they didn't release any additional funds for this rock formation. But just to clarify also, this wasn't part of the original plan, but they adjusted the design to accommodate these rock formations. Charles?
Right. Shaila, we recall that this dolomite at the Baywalk issue was criticized heavily previously, but then how come authorities have gone ahead and done it again anyway, despite the criticisms that they faced last year?
Charles, the DNR says they are just continuing the project. If you can recall, the supplier of the dolomite was barred from transporting dolomite from Cebu to Manila because of some permit and environmental concerns. But now that it has been resolved, they now continue to transport the dolomite, and that's why the project has been continued. Charles?
Right. Shaila, earlier today we reported a specific weather disturbance that's about to enter the PAR. Wouldn't this dolomite be washed off once another storm such as this one would enter the country?
Yes, Charles, that was the concern of some environmental groups. But according to the DNR, aside from the rock formations, which will prevent the dolomite from being washed out to the sea, this is the reason why they continued the project. Because what happened last year was there was only a thin layer of dolomite. We weren't able to finish the 1 meter thick requirement for the dolomite. So with the completion of this year, they expect that the dolomite will not be easily washed out. Charles?
All right, Shaila, but when do they anticipate this project to be done, and when will they finally reopen Baywalk?
Charles, they intend to finish the project by June or July. As for opening it with the public, they don't see it happening anytime soon because of the COVID-19 concerns. Charles?
Thanks for that, Shaila. That was Shaila Francisco reporting live from Manila. Marikina Representative Stella Kimbo says the Bayanihan III bill is essentially an ayuda bill, which will provide more assistance to those affected by the pandemic. In an interview with Radyo 5, Kimbo said that Congress, together with economic managers, are still working to find ways to fund the third stimulus bill.
Meron pa naman natitirang pondo mula sa 2020 GAA or yung budget ng gobyerno. As of end December last year, parang meron pa natitirang unobligated or hindi pa nagagamit na 280 billion pesos. Number 2 po, meron naman pong excess funds din ang ating mga GOCCs. Ito po yung ating mga government-owned corporations. So ibig sabihin, after their operations and after their giving out of dividends, in kaso na meron pang natitirang pondo, ayan po ay pwede pa pong isweep kumbaga ng ating gobyerno. And third po, one important provision under Bayanihan II is pwede pa tayong umutang mula sa Bangko Sentral. So meron pa tayo kumbaga natitirang space sa debt sa BSP amounting to about 280 billion. So kahit sabihin po natin utangin natin ang kalahati niyan, tingin ko itong tatlong sources ay aabot na po sa 400 billion.
On the other hand, Interior Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya says the distribution of assistance for affected residents in the NCR Plus bubble is going smoothly. That's despite the department reporting that only 8% of beneficiaries have received aid after almost 1 week since the distribution started. Speaking with 1PH sa Totoo Lang, Malaya also clarified that the dole-out will continue, even if the region has already shifted to MECQ.
Tuloy-tuloy po ang pamimigay natin ng ayuda, and given na kahit po nag-relax na ang ating quarantine qualification, commitment na po yan ng pamahalaan. Kahit po kayo ay nakabalik na sa trabaho, nandyan na po ang pondo, tulong na po yan ng pamahalaan sa inyo at hindi na po babawiin ng gobyerno yung naibabang pondo sa mga local government units.
A school in Subic has been converted into a temporary COVID-19 treatment and monitoring facility. This is to help decongest hospitals and other health facilities in Region 3, as well as in the NCR Plus bubble. To give us more details, we have JC Cosico joining us on the line from Subic, Zambales. JC, could you tell us more about this new facility? Where can we find this? And what's the capacity?
Charles, the government has inaugurated the Manila Science College of Subic Temporary Treatment and Monitoring Facility here in Subic, Zambales. It has a 330-bed capacity for mild and asymptomatic COVID-19 patients. Charles.
Right, JC, could you tell us who are expected to be accommodated at this facility, and can this facility also be used for isolation of suspected cases or confirmed cases?
Charles, according to the DOH, the facility will house about 300 plus asymptomatic and COVID-19 patients, those who are coming from the NCR, Region 3 and Region 4A. Charles.
One thing we need to find out, is this treatment free of charge, and can COVID-19 patients head there immediately for treatment?
Yes, Charles. According to Secretary Vince Dizon, the treatment will be free of charge, and the referral system will be used. Hospitals and including LGUs will be the ones referring for them or for the patients to be transferred here. Charles.
All right, we have received reports that aside from Region 3, the facility can also cater to patients from NCR+. Could you give us more details on this, and what are the plans for patients to be transported, and will this also be free of charge?
Yes, Charles, according to Yusek Bong Vega, the transportation of these patients will be shouldered by the MMDA and by the Region 3 DOH, in which transportation will also be free of charge for these patients. And we are also expecting the first batch of around 20 patients to be admitted here today. Charles.
All right, that's good news. Do we know how many health workers are expected to be deployed at this temporary facility?
Charles, Yusek Bong Vega said that there are around 40 health workers. All of these will be coming from the Regional Health Office of Region 3 to be catering the patients here at the newly opened facility. Charles.
All right, do we know whether health officials are looking to put up also similar treatment facilities in other campuses, maybe in Region 3 or elsewhere in NCR+?
Yes, Charles, like Vince Dizon also said earlier, that they are in talks with different HDIs in Metro Manila for these institutions to be converted into isolation facilities. The CHED earlier said that there will be around 17 HDIs to be converted, and apart from that, the Red Cross and the MMDA, the Metro Manila mayors, are also eyeing schools to be used as isolation facilities. Sorry.
Thanks for those updates, JC. That was JC Cosico reporting from Subic. Apple is holding its first product unveiling of the year, and it's happening real soon. What can we expect from this special event? Bloomberg's Mark Gurman gives us a preview on Bloomberg Technology.
First and foremost, I mean, what are you expecting at the event?
So thank you for having me. First of all, the big thing, of course, like you said, will be the new iPad Pros. These will be the first update to the iPad Pro line a little bit over a year. They released the current ones about mid-March last year. The big thing this year will be a new processor that is on par with the much faster chipsets inside of some of Apple's latest Macs with their M1 processors. There's going to be an updated port that can sync faster with more accessories, external monitors, and also a much improved camera system. But the big thing is actually going to be a new display on the larger of the two models, a new 12.9-inch model with what is called a mini LED display. That allows the screen to go much brighter and have better contrast ratios, so ultimately a better user experience. Other things in the pipeline are new iMac desktops with custom Apple chips, as well as a product called AirTags, which is basically like one of those tile gizmos. You slap it onto your bag, your wallet, what have you, and you can locate it through the Find My app on the iPhone.
Love a tile gizmo. Meanwhile, I mean, why is all of this significant for Apple at the moment? How we always know that it's so important about innovation, the product roadmap. What do you think they're trying to demonstrate here?
I mean, nothing that you're going to be seeing next week is going to be particularly innovative, in my humble opinion. There's nothing extraordinary that we haven't seen before from Apple or anyone else. These are more iterative updates. Besides the iMac, if the iMac does indeed get launched next week, that's going to be a big deal. But on the iPad specifically, we're all talking about iterative basic stuff here. However, the iPad has become an increasingly key product for Apple. The tablet, it made Apple $8.4 billion in revenue during Q1, so the holiday quarter in 2020. That was the most since 2014. Sales obviously jumped on demand from people working and studying from home during the pandemic. And now we're at the point, as you know, where students and employees are beginning to return to schools and offices in the coming months, which could spark yet another purchase cycle for the device, which is really key in work and school.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again later at 1 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.